What if I told you that your cat knows when an earthquake is coming, 3 days before scientists do? Or that a bunch of cows can predict volcanic eruptions better than million-dollar equipment? Sounds crazy, right? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into the wild world of animals that have been playing Mother Nature's early warning system for thousands of years, while we humans are still out here checking weather apps like idiots. These aren't just old wives' tales or coincidences. We're talking about documented cases where animals saved entire cities, predicted tsunamis, and even called out earthquakes with scary precision. And the best part? Scientists are finally starting to admit that Fluffy might actually be onto something. The earthquake whisperers. Let's start with the absolute legends of disaster prediction: cats and dogs. Now, I know what you're thinking. My dog can barely predict when I'm opening a bag of treats. But hear me out. In 373 BC, yeah, we're going way back, rats, snakes, and weasels started fleeing the Greek city of Hellas days before a massive earthquake leveled the place. The animals literally said nope and bounced, leaving the humans scratching their heads until the ground started shaking. But here's where it gets really wild. In 1975, Chinese officials evacuated the entire city of Haicheng. We're talking 90,000 people. Based partly on animal behavior, horses were refusing to enter stables, hibernating snakes crawled out into the snow, which is basically like your teenager voluntarily doing chores, and dogs wouldn't stop howling. The result? A 7.3 magnitude earthquake hit the next day. The evacuation saved an estimated 150,000 lives. Meanwhile, our best seismic equipment was probably still loading. So how do they do it? Scientists think animals can sense the P waves, those tiny seismic vibrations that come before the big shake. It's like nature's version of a notification ping, except instead of your phone buzzing, it's the earth going, heads up, things are about to get spicy. Dogs and cats have way more sensitive hearing than us. While we're vibing to music, they're picking up frequencies that would make our ears bleed. So when the earth starts humming that earthquake tune, they're the first ones to hear it. Tsunami heroes. Now let's talk about the real MVPs. The animals that predicted the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. This story will give you chills. On December 26, 2004, tourists in Thailand were chilling on the beaches when something absolutely bizarre started happening. Elephants at a resort began trumpeting like their lives depended on it, which, spoiler alert, they did. They started grabbing tourists with their trunks and carrying them to higher ground. Picture this. You're sunbathing, and suddenly a 6-ton elephant is like, "Trust me, Karen, we need to move now." But it wasn't just elephants. Dogs refused to go on their usual beach walks. Cats hid under beds. Water buffalo herded together and stared at the ocean like they were watching a horror movie. Even the birds went silent, which, if you know birds, is like the apocalypse level weird. One elephant named Ning Nong became a literal hero. She was giving rides to tourists when she suddenly stopped, trumpeted, and headed for the hills with 8 people on her back. Those 8 people lived because the elephant had better disaster management skills than most emergency services. The tsunami waves hit 15 minutes later. The animals knew what was coming before the water even pulled back from the shore. Scientists now believe these animals felt the earthquake's seismic waves traveling through the ground, waves that move faster than the tsunami itself. It's like they had a direct line to Mother Nature's emergency hotline. The volcanic forecasters. Okay, but what about volcanoes? Surely animals can't predict something as complex as volcanic eruptions, right? Wrong. Meet the unsung heroes of Mount Vesuvius, the farm animals of Pompeii. Just kidding, they didn't make it. But their modern counterparts? Total legends. In 2006, before Mount Merapi in Indonesia erupted, something incredible happened. Wild animals started fleeing the mountain like it was a Black Friday sale in reverse. Monkeys abandoned their territories, birds migrated early, and even insects changed their patterns. But here's the kicker. Livestock got in on the action too. Cows, goats, and chickens near volcanic areas often become restless days before eruptions. They're like living, breathing seismographs, except they also provide milk and eggs. There's this amazing case from Japan where researchers tracked animal behavior around Mount Sakurajima. They found that cats and dogs showed unusual behavior patterns up to 6 days before eruptions. 6 days? Meanwhile, human technology usually gives us a few hours warning at best. The secret? Animals can sense tiny changes in electromagnetic fields, air pressure, and ground temperature that happen before volcanoes blow their top. They're basically walking around with built-in weather stations that we can only dream of having. Weather prophets. But wait, there's more! Animals don't just predict earth-shattering events, they're also your friendly neighborhood meteorologists. Sharks, and stay with me here, are insane at predicting hurricanes. Scientists tagged sharks off the coast of Florida and found they dive deeper and change their migration patterns up to 2 weeks before major storms hit. These underwater gangsters have better weather forecasting than your local news. Cows are basically living barometers. They lie down before it rains because they can feel the drop in atmospheric pressure. Next time you drive past a field and all the cows are chilling on the ground, grab an umbrella. They know what's up. And spiders? These 8-legged architects build stronger webs before storms. They're out here reinforcing their homes while we're still deciding whether to bring a jacket. Birds take it to another level entirely. They can detect infrasound, sound waves so low humans can't hear them. Storms create these infrasonic waves that travel hundreds of miles ahead of the actual weather. So while we're checking radar, birds are getting direct audio updates from the storm itself. There's this wild study where researchers found that birds evacuate areas up to 24 hours before severe weather hits. They don't wait for weather apps or news alerts, they just peace out based on sound waves we can't even detect. The science behind the superpower? So what's the deal? Are animals psychic, or is there actual science here? Turns out, it's all about sensory superpowers we wish we had. Animals can detect electromagnetic field changes. Earthquakes and volcanic activity mess with the Earth's electromagnetic field. Animals feel this like we feel a tap on the shoulder. Infrasound and ultrasound, they hear frequencies that are completely invisible to us. It's like they're listening to a disaster playlist that we can't access. Chemical changes. Animals can smell gases released before eruptions or detect changes in water chemistry that signal seismic activity. Pressure changes. Their bodies are basically living pressure sensors that make our weather instruments look like toys. The crazy part? We're finally starting to listen. Some countries now include animal behavior monitoring in their disaster prediction systems. Japan has been tracking unusual animal behavior since the 1960s, and it's helped them prepare for countless natural disasters, modern heroes, and recent cases. This isn't just ancient history either. In 2016, Italian researchers noticed that farm animals near the town of Norcia were acting weird, restless, agitated, refusing food. 3 days later, a 6.6 magnitude earthquake hit. In 2018, before a major volcanic eruption in Guatemala, local indigenous communities evacuated based on animal behavior, while official warnings came too late for many areas. And get this, there are now apps being developed that crowdsource animal behavior reports to predict disasters. We're literally trying to create technological systems that copy what animals do naturally. Some researchers are even proposing biological early warning systems where we monitor farm animals, pets, and wildlife as part of official disaster preparedness. Your dog might end up being part of the emergency response team. So next time your pet starts acting weird, maybe don't just assume they're being dramatic. They might be trying to save your life. The truth is, animals have been Earth's original disaster warning system for millions of years. While we've been busy building fancy equipment and computer models, they've been sitting there with built-in sensors that put our technology to shame. Maybe it's time we stopped thinking we're so much smarter than the rest of the animal kingdom and started paying attention to what they're trying to tell us. Here's a question for you. Have you ever noticed your pets acting strange before bad weather or other events? Drop your stories in the comments. And if you want to see more incredible animal superpowers that make humans look like amateurs, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Trust me, the rabbit hole of animal abilities goes way deeper than you think. Thanks for watching, and remember, your pets might just be smarter than your weather app.